Welcome to Bizemag Podcast, which is a podcast by Business Strategy e-magazine. Do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, L'strategyq. You will find the link below this video. Today, our guest speaker is Mr. Arie Brish from USA, who has written a book on lay an egg and make a chicken soup. This book is perfect for entrepreneurs and startup enthusiasts. Welcome, Arie, to our podcast. It's our honor and pleasure to have you here.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I will introduce Arie to my audience. Arie Brish is a cross-functional expert in growth strategies, commercializing, innovation, change leadership, and turnaround. He is also a bestseller author of Lay an Egg and Make Chicken Soup, as I just mentioned. Arie teaches and speaks frequently about commercializing innovation. So, Arie, my first question to you would be, what was the process of launching your book and what made you think of writing this book?
Okay, so the book, there is a long history. When I started as a young engineer, started my career, like most engineers, I thought, okay, you design a great product and it will just sell itself, right? But as you progress in your career, you realize that there is so many other attributes to a success of a new product, how you market it, whether it's manufacturable, whether the quality is acceptable, whether it's sustainable and functional 2 or 3 or 5 years later, whether you manage to finance it, whether the cost is correct relative to the price. There is so many other details. And the more I progressed in my career, the more I realized that those details are even more important than the actual product itself. In the past 10 or so years, I mentor in different capacities in different accelerators. And what I realized that most young engineers and young entrepreneurs are facing the same issue I faced when I was their age. And the issue is you don't know what you don't know. So if you're young and inexperienced, you don't have the experience of what obstacles are waiting for you when you launch a new product. So I started to blog on the topic and gave examples in my blogs and what have you. And you know, a few years later, I realized I have enough material to put it together into a book. So that's basically how the book evolved, I would say, because there was never a point in time I decided to write a book. It was like more towards the end where I realized I have a book in my hand and it just happened. So that's kind of an evolutionary book.
If I go to a book shop and I see so many books on business, innovation, startups, what differentiate your book and why should people go for your book on innovation?
That's a very timely question, because the class I teach today, it's an MBA class about innovation, and the structure of the class is every student had to choose one book and present it to the class. So I told the students, okay, go ahead, this is the link, go and choose a book and come back and you'll present every class. We have a different student presenting. 90% of the books that students chose were about how to come up with a new idea, how to make your mind more creative, and so on. So most innovation books are about what's called ideation, the process of coming up with new ideas. And there is all kinds of theories and how you make your mind more creative and what have you. In my case, my book is focusing on the execution. The first chapter is about ideation, like most other innovation books, but 80-90% of the book is about how to launch, how to commercialize the new product, so it will become a commercial success. And that's the differentiator here.
Yeah, I think like in India also innovation and incubation centers are very much in trend. So we have incubation centers not only in colleges and institutions, but also in schools. And there is an industry academia partnership through which these students, particularly college students, for example, if I name IITs, which are world renowned institutes, and third year students are supposed to start a idea, and then an innovative idea, and then turn it into startup launcher. So as you mentioned, your book tells about the execution steps, step by step, how to implement your idea and convert into startup and get it regulated also. That should be a very good knowledge resource for such students all over India, but also all across the globe also.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct. That's a global issue. It's more about age than what country you are, entrepreneur or student or an engineer. I've seen it in all countries all over the world. It's just a human nature. You don't know what you don't know, so
And you were
therefore you don't
mentioning
know to
that
plan for something you don't know.
you were mentioning that you have written something about a chapter on how to deal it with in different countries.
Correct. So, once you maximize your opportunity in your home country, and India is a big country, you can do very well just selling in India. But at some point, you want to go beyond your home country, and you have to adjust the product to different cultures. Even industrial product, even in a B2B, sometimes you have to adjust the product to the different regulations. Different countries may have different regulations, whether it's a utility product or whether even automobiles have sometimes different regulations for automobiles in different countries. You drive on the left side, you drive on the right side, whatever there is a pollution regulations in different countries. So many products you have to make modifications to sell the same product basically in different countries. And so one of the chapters in the book is kind of expose you or tell the reader about what to think about in when you start to, first of all, when is a good timing to go outside of your home country, and secondly, different examples of what you need to think about modifications for different countries. Medical products, same thing. Different countries have different regulations. Food products, the same thing. You have to modify the product for the taste of different cultures. One of the examples in this global expansion I gave is how McDonald's was smart enough to adjust their recipe for each country. Even though McDonald's, the main thing is that they very repeatable and very predictable, but yet they managed to modify slight modifications to their recipes so they can be successful in different countries.
Perfect example of McDonald's. Like in India, they have started, there is a particular dish in South India, very famous across India, dosa. It's a typical South Indian dish. It's basically a rice and pulse pancake filled with potatoes. So they have started a Mac burger by the name of Mac Dosa Burger. It has that particular tingling taste of dosa, you know.
You make me hungry now.
So my next question is, you have written a chapter on emotional connect or emotional quotient in businesses. So what is this?
Yes. So emotional products are products that you sell to the emotional motivation of the buyer. So the perfect examples are jewelries or flowers you buy to a loved one. Those are pure emotional products. But then on functional products, even technology products, you can add the emotional angle. For example, Apple, when they come up with a new telephone model, people stay in line all night long to be the first one to have that telephone so they can come to the office and show all their colleagues hey, this just came up and today, and I already have it. So this is an example of emotional motivation to buy something that is pure technology. They stood in line all night long, not because the older telephone is not working anymore. They stood in line all night long, so they can be the first one to have this latest telephone and come to the office and be the star of the attention or the center of attention in the office because they have this product. The same thing in B2B. B2B, you think, okay, the buying decision is pure technical, no emotion involved, but you can add the emotional angle to a buying decision even in a B2B environment. For example, what will this product do to your career? So one of my most successful product launches in in B2B, selling technology to an engineer in a B2B environment, the concept was this is such a advanced technology that if you don't expose yourself or you don't get experience in using this technology, you will be obsolete as an engineer 5 years later. So you must have it in your resume. Therefore, you want to buy this product for your company so you can have it on your resume that you use this very advanced technology. So we play the emotional angle even on a B2B technology sale.
Uh, Please share some more wisdom of pearls for our audience, who are global audience, because I went through your website and I saw you have a long career as a growth strategist and business strategist for so many businesses. Uh, so please share some of your experience for our audience who want to be future entrepreneurs or startups launchers.
Okay, well, one of the most important things, especially in the technology world, people tend to forget that you're dealing with humans. Okay, the person or the people that make the buying decision on the other side, on the other B, in a B2B, the buying B, are humans. They have motivations. They want to impress their boss, or they want to impress their family, or whatever the motivation is. So you need to think about what's the motivation of the people you're dealing with, and in case of customers, what makes them decide to buy this product. In many cases, it could be you deal with government officials to get your product approved or licensed, or you deal with the banks or with investors. They're all humans, and all these humans have their own human agenda in each case. So you have to understand what the other person across the table is motivated by, and that will help you get what you need from the other side. Even in a B2B, there is a person in the other B.
So, Eddie, tell us about your book, where all it is available for our audience if they want to buy, about the pricing. And dear audience, we will be displaying Arie's book cover on our website. Do visit, and there would be a link to buy from there in India and across the globe. Please, Arie,
Okay.
share.
Okay, so the book is available on Amazon. In the case of India, it's available on the amazon.in. You can also go to my website. My website has different free downloads you can use even without buying the book. For example, probably the most important is a checklist of what you need to watch for, look after when you launch a new product. So the book actually is structured like a checklist. Every chapter is basically a checkpoint. The only thing that the book adds, in addition to the dry checklist, there are stories. For each checkpoint, there is 2 or 3 or 4 examples of how people, address this issue, whether they succeeded or failed, how they succeed, how did they fail, and what have you. So the book is a little more interesting to read than just a dry checklist, but the dry checklist is available as a free download on my website, and the website is www.cxo360.net. So again, cxo360.net. And there's papers there, and different papers are published, the checklist that I mentioned, and the book is available on Amazon, including Amazon.in for the people in India.
Thank you, Arie, for being with us. It was a nice meeting with you. And our dear audience, do visit his website to get benefits as much as possible and go through his book. If you want to purchase, it's a very nice knowledge resource for those researchers who want to convert their idea into a startup, into a successful business. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you for having me. You have a nice evening.